Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about, tonight actually, we're going to talk about carry handles. Each of the weapons that I'm going to show have carry handles on. Now, there are going to be some similarities between the carry handles and some differences. Like this carry handle, it's quite a slim carry handle, can't really get a hand in there properly. But there's a good thing about that, it protects the cocking handle and the cocking mechanism. Whereas this carry handle, I can get my hand in there quite easily. Obviously it doesn't protect the cocking mechanism because it's all internal on this. I'm referring to the real steel versions as well. And then you have big carry handles. Obviously lots of room in there for me to get my hand in there. So let's talk about the size and stuff. So obviously in sort of the 60s and the 70s, carry handles were actually used as carry handles. You would actually carry a lot of weapons by the carry handle, such as the L85A1, which is what this one is. Soldiers would carry it by the carry handle, such as medical evacuation. You would carry the stretcher with one hand and you'd carry your weapon with the other. Obviously, you could carry it like that. Nowadays, soldiers from all over the world don't tend to use the carry handle as a carry handle. British soldiers don't use the carry handle on the L85 as a carry handle. It's just the rear sight. And I know that American soldiers don't use their carry handles as carry handles, it's just the rear sight. Now, the differences on these Airsoft versions is the carry handle on the M4, and it's actually weird to see the M4 with its carry handle on because I've not used the carry handle on this for so long, is the fact that the carry handle on here, in fact it's really dusty, the carry handle on here, this actually works for the wind left and right, and the up and down doesn't work, sorry, but left and right does. However, on here, although the sight flips, you can change it to like long range, short range. This doesn't actually turn or do anything, it's just for show. It's also just for show on here. This one flips backwards and forwards. In fact, it's pretty obvious to see the difference on the sights on this one. There's no BBs present, no magazines obviously, so if you can see that there. This is what I'm trying to show you, this hole here. It's quite a big one. Let's flip it over. It's quite a small one there. Whereas on the Car 15, don't know whether you guys can see it very clearly. Well, hopefully you can see that. I'll just have a quick look at that. And then I flip it to this one. To me they're the same size hole. They may be slightly bigger than each other and slightly smaller, but to me they're the same. On the M4, they also seem to be the same size. So don't know if you guys can see that. Oops, I should have turned my internet off so I didn't get notifications. And that's the hole on that one. And then the hole on that one. If you guys can see, I don't know. The light's a little bit odd there, especially for this green. I'm hoping you guys can see that. But those holes seem to be the same size as well. However, the rear sight on this one, you can't change it, you can't adjust it for wind or elevation. It's just one set little V notch. And the same with the front post as well. It's just a odd shaped like cone and can't be adjusted or anything. It's just in place there. this front sight on the L85A1 can be adjusted with the little spinny wheel there and a screwdriver. Now I don't remember, I think it's this screw here that you adjust it with as well. I don't think it's these two, well, that one is definitely not. Yeah, it's this one here, because that one tightens it, stop it from moving around so much. Obviously I haven't tightened it. So it's that screw there, and that little wheel. My voice is going, sorry. This little post you can move using your finger. Don't know if you guys can see that. That moves just using your finger. I don't think there's a way to tighten it. And then this front post doesn't move either. That's just in place in there. And it is pretty much central. The pellets always seem to hit where I'm firing, so yeah. Like I say, I've not used it with the iron sight, the carry handle or rear iron sight on in quite a while. I always have that little mock ACOG, so yeah. Like I said, in the 60s, I'm not so sure when I can't remember when the L85 was first introduced to British Army, because I know that in the 50s we still had the L1A1, or the FAL as people know it by. It wasn't a FAL because it was a British made version before I think it was the Belgians made their own version, and then the Australians and everyone else made their own version, and it became FAL. So yeah, I can't remember. I think it was the 60s, 70s, maybe 80s that the L85 was introduced. Yeah, it must have been the 80s, or the late 70s, or the 80s, because I know that in the 70s we still had the L1A1 because it was used in Ireland, Northern Ireland, by the British Army against the IRA. But anyway, so the 60s, we're going to have to assume or imagine that this is an M16, because I don't actually have an M16. In the 60s, obviously, Vietnam, the Americans had M16, and they were using the carry handle as a carry handle at the time. Like I say, now, I'm not sure in America, like American forces, but the British Army, the Air Force, whatever, you get told not to use your carry handle as a carry handle. It's just a rear iron sight. You only actually have a carry handle in the British Army or British forces throughout Phase 1 training. Yeah, you only have the carry handle throughout Phase 1 training when you're first learning to shoot the rifle. I'm referring to the L85, sorry. That's what I was saying now. Yeah, you only have that carry handle throughout Phase 1. So as soon as you reach like Phase 2 and past training, well, I had a SUSAT. We didn't have ACOGs or anything like that. We have SUSATs, and yeah. So like I said, I don't know about Americans. I do know that now that they don't really use the carry handle as a carry handle. They use it as the rear sight. Yeah, obviously I do miss not using iron sights, because they're still pretty accurate and they're good up to a certain range. Also, the SUSATs and other sights have advantages. You can see a bit further. It is more accurate, and yeah. I mean, obviously, in the airsoft world, we use the carry handle as a carry handle. At the minute, obviously, we're making a short movie, a homemade war movie, and we're obviously using the carry handles as carry handles for like casualty evacuation. But the reason I've put like slings on most of my guns now is to obviously sling the weapon, so you ain't got to really make use of that carry handle, which is another point to do with obviously actual combat and stuff like that, is the fact that you don't have to use the carry handle anymore because you have a sling most of the time. Obviously with this you can just keep it in your hand. You can obviously, myself and a lot of people I know carry them like that. You know, it's just the good thing about the L85 though, especially the real life version, because it's got more weight in the book, is it's got a centre of gravity which is right here basically, so you hold it like that and it's just, and you can hold it like that, it won't go anywhere, it won't fall out your hand. Sort of drifting off anyway. And my brother's doing some sort of weird Fortnite dance that I ran off because I've just embarrassed him. Anyway, so yeah, you guys probably gathered this was a video on carry handles, and admittedly I do know a lot more about M16s, M4s and L85s than I do about any other sort of rifles, sorry, because well, I've got experience with L85 and I do a lot of reading up and research and stuff on M16s, M4s and other sorts of weapons like that. The G36, however, I can't tell you, you know, much about. I've done a video on the channel, I read up a little bit. I mostly talked about this version because I know about the Airsoft version. The real life version, however, I'm not really sure. I know the British police and armed police, sorry, and other anti-terror units use the G36. Well, they use the G36C, but which is obviously the compact version of this. But yeah, obviously it's got the carry handle. It is protecting the cocking mechanism on this Airsoft version, and it's about all I can tell you really, because I don't know much about it. There is a G36, this is the G36K, so the G36 has quite a tall carry handle with a built-in optic, with a built-in optic, and obviously the iron sights on top of the carry handle, like that is. You have the G36C, which is obviously the compact version. Sort of a little bit similar to that, but would obviously have a handguard, an actual handguard. Probably be something like that. And then you've got the G36K, which is this. Now G36K and the G36C both have this small carry handle. And I'm going to be honest, if anyone knows, obviously comment. I'm not actually sure whether it is a carry handle on this version. I know that obviously the standard G36, that is a carry handle. I'm not sure whether this one is. We use it like a carry handle. Seems a bit like a carry handle. But yeah, I think that's going to conclude the video. Thanks for watching, take care.